Hey guys, so welcome back to another voiceover video. Today we're going to be doing a more meal prep. So I'm going to show you guys 3 different recipes and let's get started. So first you're going to go ahead and make sure you have your Tupperware set out. I bought these on Amazon for about $10. I will link them down below, but any Tupperware will do. My only recommendation is that they are dishwasher safe because don't nobody like to be washing a whole lot of dishes. Oh, and to also make sure that the lids fit on it tightly so there's no leakage. Next thing you want to do is make sure you have all of your food laid out in front of you just so you know what you're doing as far as your recipes. All of our proteins are set out, a couple of canned items, and all of our vegetables just so you're not running back and forth and nothing's catching on fire, just to be a little bit more organized. So we're going to get started with our first 2 recipes at the same time. So we're going to take this ground beef. This is 93.7. I got it from Kroger. I got it really cheap. You can usually find really cheap meat at Kroger. And I've been obsessing over this Creole seasoning. I put it on everything, literally everything. It's my new jam. So we're going to dump that in there and ground that up a little bit. And we're going to take also Kroger brand. It's called carne picada. And dump that into a cast iron skillet. If anything is not like ground beef, I like to use it in a cast iron skillet because I feel like it cooks it a little bit better. And we season that with the Creole seasoning as well. Now we're going to take some cabbage and chop that up. Please don't come for me and my knife skills. Mama does not belong to Iron Chef. So just chop up the cabbage to your liking, however much you would like. I went a little ham with the cabbage, just a little ham, as you can see, but we're going to fix that in our next couple of clips. You'll see what we do to kind of fix that. So we're going to dump that into our ground beef once it's all nice and browned up, and then we're going to go ahead and take our no sodium added diced tomato and green onion or rotel, whatever. I just make sure to get the one that's low sodium. You can chop up the vegetables yourself, but I like to cut corners because it just makes my life a lot easier. And then we're gonna dump on some tomato sauce. I used 2 cans just because, as you can see, I went a little bit too heavy on the cabbage, but once it cooks down, I'm going to add some ground turkey in there just to even everything out. So now that the carne picada is nice and cooked, I like to cook it about medium well. I'm gonna add in some noodled up or sliced zucchini. You can do it yourself. Like I said, I like to cut corners, and I bought mine already pre-cut from Kroger. And I added in a little bit of butter just so it blends a little bit better with the meat, just because the juices it just wasn't doing it for me. So I added a little bit of butter in there, and you can add as much seasoning as you like. You could actually add cheese if you want. You can add other vegetables. I'm just keeping it simple for you guys for this video. So there's the ground turkey. We're gonna add that in there just to give the dish a little more volume because, as you can see, the cabbage was taken over. Now we're gonna get started with our mashed cauliflower. This is just frozen cauliflower, and you want to check the bag to make sure that that's all that's in there. And if you look at the back of it, all it says is cauliflower. And while that's cooking, we're gonna chop up some green onion that we're gonna use for our next recipe that I will show you guys in the next clip. So you're just gonna chop up some green onions as fine or as thick as you'd like. Again, don't come for me and my knife skills. I'm trying. This knife is from the dollar store. So I'm going to dump in some regular tuna. This is the Starkiss brand, and it's tuna in water. You want to make sure you don't use the one that's in oil because it has a bunch of added fat to it. And then we're going to dump in a little bit of mayonnaise. This is about 2 tablespoons. These 2 little squirts are about 2 tablespoons. You could add as much or as less as you like. You can use the Greek yogurt kind, whatever floats your boat. And we're going to add in that Creole seasoning again and some Kobe Jack cheese. Now we're mixing everything together, and then we are going to make these into little balls and stick them on the griddle. Now I like to use the griddle for as much as I can, especially if I'm cooking chicken, just because I feel like it keeps me from using so many dishes. So I like to cook chicken on here, I like to saute veggies on here, or I will use a casserole dish, just anything that keeps me from having a shit ton of dishes in my kitchen. So we're gonna take that cauliflower out of the microwave and squeeze out as much water as you can. Squeeze all that water out. Cut a little hole and squeeze the water out, because that's gonna help our mashed cauliflower stay really creamy instead of all like watery and a weird consistency. So we're gonna dump that into the blender, and I'm going to add some salt, because salt is gonna add, or is gonna help soak up some of that moisture from the cauliflower, just to make sure it has the correct consistency. And after we blend that sucker up, this is what it looks like. You can use a food processor, but I lost the attachment for my food processor, so we're using a blender. Back at it again with the frozen vegetables. We're just gonna dump that into the microwave and heat it up for 7 minutes, and that's all done. So we're just gonna plate everything together, and wham bam, thank you ma'am. We have all of our dishes here: mashed cauliflower with green beans and tuna cakes, our zucchini and meat stir fry, if you want to call it, and then our unstuffed cabbage. All of this was so good. This is probably one of my favorite meal preps ever. Let me know in the comments below if you try it, if you added anything different, and what you guys want to see next in my video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.